Hello, Internet. My name is Ryan Ingram, and in this series, I'm giving you everything that you need to drastically change and improve your life. In this episode in particular, we're going to be talking about your network. This is your circle of friends, who you associate with. If you pull out your phone and look at the last 10 people you called, this is who they are, this is who I am referring to, and this is what I want you to think about as much as you possibly can. Now, the main point that I want to drive home is the fact that you are your network. Whoever you hang around, whoever you spend the most amount of time with, that is who you are. It doesn't matter if we're talking about money, your grades, your athletic ability, your outlook on life. If you take all of the people around you, add that up, and average it out, that's exactly who you are. If you hang out with a bunch of negative people all of the time, then eventually your outlook on life is going to turn sour. It's going to be very negative, and you are going to be just as unfun to hang out with as all of your friends are, because nobody likes that much negativity around. Similarly, if you have a bunch of broke people that you're hanging around, then stop complaining about being broke. You are choosing to do that because you're not associating yourself with people that emulate the kind of lifestyle or the kind of financial position it is that apparently you're after. I have freely shared this information for quite some time now. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to put it on YouTube. But in sharing this, I've had several people that reach out to me and they're just like, nobody my age is interested in real estate investing. All my friends, all they want to do is go out and drink and stuff. Well, right. And that's all that you're ever going to do as well if you do not leave them. You have to separate yourself from the pack. You have to disengage. If your friends are not on a trajectory that you want with your life, you need to get new friends. You need to get a new circle of people. You need to find a new tribe. Because the fact of the matter is, as humans, we strive to fit in. We strive to have this community around us that has similar or like-minded type of behaviors, personalities, traits, whatever that is. It is just our subconscious that tells us that we have to fit in. And before too long, we're going to start emulating the same behaviors as all of the people around us. I've shared this a few times before, and that is that my dad is one of six, one of two to not have done any jail time or time in prison. He, at a very young age, decided that that is not what he wanted with his life. He changed his network. He changed his community. He was very particular about who he spent time with because he did not want to live that lifestyle. He interacted with everyone when he was forced to. Now, don't get me wrong, he still loves his family. Over my life, I've seen him do just almost anything they asked for or needed for them on their behalf. But at the end of the day, you have to make a firm distinction of, yes, this is who you are, I love you for that, but that is not what I am going to be. And that is the first thing, the simple fact that you are your network. Now, the second thing that's extraordinarily important on this topic is the fact that you get to choose your network. Just because you were born into a certain community, just because your family is of a certain socioeconomic status, does not mean that you are limited to that. Do not let anyone ever tell you, force upon you, or try to dictate who you spend your time with. You are in control, and you get to choose who you hang out with. Now, when I first started on this journey to improve myself, as I mentioned previously, I was working a government job, I was in law enforcement. All of the people that I knew around me were law enforcement or were the lower middle class. There's nothing wrong with this. I love them all the same. I have tons of people that I still keep in touch with that if they were to ask me for anything, I would do that for them. But I had to make a determination, I had to draw a line, and I had to mentally acknowledge the fact that I am looking for better financial advice. I'm looking for better career choices. I'm looking to level up from the middle class. And unfortunately, if you're looking to do that, you can't take the advice. You can't let people speak into your lives that still have those same things. No matter how hard they try, no matter how good their intentions are, somebody that is in the lower middle class, the lowest class, they cannot give you decent advice on how to be an upper class type person. Because if they could, they would. If you are trying to figure out how to make $1 million a year, then you shouldn't take any advice from, somebody that's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year. Similarly, if you are looking to get into real estate investing, you shouldn't take any advice from an electrician or a plumber or a car salesman, unless they're real estate investors. Now, as I mentioned, the next several years of your life and the past several centuries of what we know, we can summarize it as opportunity mixed with difficulty. There's always going to be opportunity, but you have to find it. And then once you do find it, there's going to be some difficulty that you're going to have to overcome. Now, I can tell you that as I was trying to expand my network, as I was trying to find people that were wealthy, that had the keys to unlock the things that I was looking to achieve in my life, I met an individual that absolutely changed my life. I met him when I was in law enforcement. And as I was trying to figure this out, I met an individual that absolutely changed my life. Now, I met him because he called the police. Someone was trying to break into his cars. He was home. It was nighttime. He went out. They scared him away, and he called the police, rightfully so. But whenever I got there, I realized I did all of the things that I needed to in a law enforcement capacity. And then afterwards, I realized, hey, these are really nice cars. This is a really nice house. So I asked him what he did. Now, he owned a prominent painting company in the area, and that led to a lot of conversation. We talked for 30, 45 minutes, and during this time, we formed a friendship, a relationship. He gave me the freedom to reach out to him if I wanted to get lunch sometime. Now, this man was nice enough to take me around to all of his rental properties. He told me with complete transparency how much he paid for them, how much he had to repair them, what they're currently leased out for. And that just completely opened up my eyes. And he was patient enough with me to walk me through how and why I should be thinking about the same things. Now, similarly, the value that I had that he was interested in is, what do you think about these particular areas in law enforcement? Since you drive these streets all day long, what are the trends that you see in this neighborhood or that neighborhood or this neighborhood? Now, I give him endless amounts of credit in introducing me to the real estate investing world. Prior to that, I was completely focused on stocks and getting enough dividend stocks to pay for my lifestyle. But nonetheless, my mind was opened to this. I was looking for the opportunity to find someone that I could put in my network that had the things or the lifestyle that I was looking for. Similarly, I provided a value to him, which is a perfect segue into the third thing, and that is leveling up. So if you have the desire to live a certain kind of way, to become excellent in one particular thing, then it's imperative that you surround yourself with other people that have achieved that or are at least on the same path as you, so that you could encourage each other and help each other get there faster. So there are a few things that you need to keep in mind whenever you are looking for these people. And the first one is what? Now, you have to be crystal clear on this. When I met my first mentor in real estate investing, I didn't realize that I was interested in real estate investing. I had this broad idea that I wanted to provide a certain type of lifestyle for my family. I had enough financial wherewithal to realize that between this man's house, this man's cars, the way that he held himself, and the things that he said to me, he probably had a very firm grasp on how money is made and how to be successful. So I realized that the what was, how can I provide a certain type of lifestyle to my family? That is what I was looking for. I didn't quite understand the mechanics of how to go about doing that, but I realized that this man embodied what it was that I was after. Now, the more crystal clear that you can be on this, the better. If you know that you want to be, let's say, a professional basketball player, if you know that you want to be a rock star geologist, that was a good joke, then that is exactly the type of people that you need to look for. So that is the what. So after that, you need to determine who. So if you know you want to be a professional basketball player, who is currently or was a professional basketball player? Once you identify who it is that you are after, then now you can figure out where they hang out. Now, once you figure out who and where, this is where you need to put all of your energy and efforts and focus. You need to figure out how you can get invited to these things, how you can show up at these places at the right time, and you need to And that will allow you to just surround yourself with the people that you are looking for. And as you're meeting these people, you need to figure out why. Why is it that they do what they do? Now, the stars aligned when I met my first mentor because he is a phenomenal human and I have tons of respect and admiration for him. However, for as many people that also have the same things and the same lifestyle that he did, there are tons of people that are not upright. There are tons of people that have good things, but they have very bad intentions or they did very bad things to get there. They stepped on people, they were unethical, they bent rules. All of those things are super important and you don't want to get yourself wrapped up in there. So I was in law enforcement. I was a life insurance person. I'm a real estate investor. In all of these things, I could point out people that were maybe good at their job, but they may have been horrible people. So once you get these three things right, once you know exactly what you want, once you know who does it, and once you know where they hang out, now you need to be selective and filter through the people that you allow to speak into your life. You cannot just take anyone's words of advice or encouragement or speculation if you don't have a good understanding of why it is that they are doing things. There might be some serious character flaws under what they have that you do not want to associate yourself with. This is extraordinarily important. Now, once you make it to the bottom of these lists, then you have a group of people that you need to invite in your network. You now have a group of people that you need to surround yourself with as much as possible. Yes, you are going to have to intentionally stop spending time with the same people that you are currently, because if you are not where you currently want to be, then you are with the wrong group of people. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a jerk. I'm not saying that you have to just be cold-blooded and just cold shoulder these people, but they can no longer be the go-to person that you spend the majority of your time with. Now, it's going to take time in order to change your network because these people have no idea who you are. They don't necessarily know if you are the type of person that they want to spend time with. I can personally, when I was trying to kind of level up in life, when I was trying to fully actuate the kind of lifestyle that my wife and I wanted for our family, I did have to stop spending time with some really good friends. And I had a few friends that were overly negative or just detractors of a lot of my time. They had problems that I was constantly helping them with and advising them on, and it just took up too much time. It was uncomfortable. It wasn't fun. I wish it could have gone better, but ultimately I did have to cut that individual out of my life because there's only so many times that you could say the same thing to someone, and if they regularly don't do it, then it kind of becomes toxic to you, and there's just no helping them. They're going to have to work that out on their own. Now, again, if he were to call me and ask me for anything, I'd help him with as much as I can, but he hasn't, and he probably won't. All that to say is you have to be strategic and selective about who you spend your time with because you are your network. Now, once you identify all of these people, you've got one step left because it's difficult, especially if these people already have the things that it is that you're after. Then one can safely assume that they're living a more satisfied or more full life than you are. So you have to figure out how can you provide value to these people. And this is what you need to focus on. What is it that these people need? In what area do they need help with in their life? What skills do you have? It's different for everybody. There's no easy answer for this. You're going to have to spend a lot of time figuring this out, and you're going to have to figure out a way to provide value to that person. Similarly, when I met this individual that now is a phenomenal mentor of mine, and I knew where his properties were because he introduced them to me. Then now when I was working, I would monitor the screens. If anything happened near one of his properties, I let him know if it was important. If it didn't matter, then I may have let him know just to know that to let him know that I was keeping an eye on his stuff even while he was sleeping, right? So that was a value that I added to this individual. Now, it wasn't much, but that at the time was all I really had to offer. Now, one thing that I discussed in this video about how to find a mentor is one of the things that I think is super kind of the super sauce or secret sauce of what I do is I follow up with people. If somebody is nice enough to give me advice, I act on it almost immediately because I want that person to know that took the time, their education and their resources, and they gave it to me, then I want them to know that that meant a lot to me, that I embodied it, that I acted on it, and then I reach back out to them and let them know, hey, I just did this. Here were the results. That's super powerful because once you have something that a lot of people want, then there are requests every now and then that come in where people just kind of soak up your time. They don't do anything. You give them all of the right information, all of the right words, all of the right advice, and they do nothing with it. Their life doesn't change, any of that. You do not want to be that person. You want to be a person of action. You want to be a person that constantly adds value and acts on the things that your group, your new network imparts to you. In all of this, remember that you are in charge. You are in control of your life. You have all of the skills, the resources, and the ability to change your life and live whatever lifestyle that you are after. You just need to take action, get started, take control over your life, and impart all of these things to make the appropriate change. What can I do for you? Do you have any questions that I didn't answer in this? Please let me know. Again, I'm committing to you. Any question you have, please comment. I'm going to answer all comments. I'm going to answer all questions. If enough people ask the same questions, I'm going to make additional videos about this because, again, I am committed to you. I want to see you succeed. There's too much bad information. There's too much negativity out there. We as a people have to start drowning that out with positivity, encouragement, and education that will help people take control of their life and live the best lives of possible. To take control and live the best possible lives for yourself because your community needs you. Your community needs you to be the best possible version of yourself for the benefit of them.